In this video, I want to show you how to change the format of the dimensions. For example, as you can see, in these dimensions, they all have 4 digits after the decimal points. I want to change it to 2 digits after the decimal points. Also, I want to make these dimensions larger. For example, the font size, the arrow size. In order to do that, I will have to click here, this arrow, like in under annotate, click here, this arrow, or type dim style, DIMSTYLE. I click here, I will get this window. This is the dimension style manager. By default, you will get a standard style, which is this 4 digits after the decimal point, this font size, and all that. If you want to modify this existing style, you can click here. But if you want to keep this style, you have to click new. So I'm going to click new to create a new style. This new style is based on the existing standard style. You can choose more style in here, but at this point I only have one. And then I'm going to change this name so that something that I can remember easily. I put XX next to it. Dash XX means that just 2 digits after the decimal point. Continue. Now there are a lot of rooms for you to adjust the size, the length, but just to change the accuracy of the dimensions from 4 digits to 2 digits, all I have to do is to click primary units and click here the precisions from this 4 zeros to 2 zeros after the decimal points, and then close. Now I created the new style and close again. After you create a new style, it does not mean that you already applied to this all the dimensions to the new style. You will have to apply it manually. So when you click on the dimensions, for example this one, you can see in here this is standard. This is still in the standard dimension style. I have to change that by click here. If I click here, now it is a new style. So it is the .xx style, the 2 digits after the decimal point. I can apply in here, this one, this one, this one, let's say this one as well. And now they are all standard dimension style. So I have to click here and click standard -XX. So now this is the new style for these dimensions. Now I want to change the size of the dimensions. I click here, and this time I'm going to change the this style. I'm going to modify it. Modify. When you change the size of the dimensions, you should not just change one parameter. For example, you should not just change the size of the text. You should change everything, all the parameters in here. So, for example, let's say if you have a dimensions changed, but your arrows does not, so your arrow might look very small or very big if you don't do that. Also, when you change the size, you should apply the same scale from everywhere. So, for example, if I want to add, let's say 33% of the about 33% of the bigger. So all these numbers should be multiplied by 33%. But you do not have to be very accurate. So for example, these two numbers should be adjusted. I'm going to show you what that means. 0.36 instead of 0.18. You can see that this line. I'm going to change it back. In here, 0.09. You can see this is right here. This is the gap. That's what this is. You can see in here. Let me show you a bigger one. So 1, 2. So you can see this is adjusted. So now I want to make it like 33%. So probably 0.24 and then 0.8 or 0.08 or 0.09. It doesn't matter for this one. And then the arrow size, which is this. Again, 33%. So about 0.24. This center mark right here, you can have a line, you can have a mark. If this is a mark or a line, 33%, 0.12, or something like that. And then the next one is the text. It's again 0.24, and how far from the dimension line, let's say this gap. So I can again show you what that means. If I have a double, so this gap is right here. So I want to have, it was 0.09, let's say 0.12. So everything just scale proportionally. And then these are, we don't have to change them. And OK, and OK. So you can see all these dimensions has changed compared to the old one. Now I want to add a new style. Let's say I want to apply something called a tolerance in here. And there are cases that you have to apply tolerance in some dimensions. So I create a new one. Now the reason I have to create a new one, because if I change this existing one, everything's going to change together. But I just want to have this particular dimensions that has that style, that include the tolerance. So I have to create a new one, but this time it's a copy of the standard XX, not the standard one. So standard XX, because the size is good, everything's good. But this time I want to keep the size, but I want to increase the accuracy. So I have three digits after the decimal. So continue. So this time everything's the same. So this is the same, that's the same, that's the same, except this. Now I want to have 3 digits after the decimal. And then I will have to add a new thing called tolerance. If I have to add it, there are a couple ways. I can apply a plus and minus 5,000 because it's 3 digits. So I will apply the 3-digit tolerance. If this 2, I will apply the 2 digits one. So now it's 3 digits. I will have to do the 3. So let's say this is plus and minus 5. If I do that, OK, close. I will have to click here and change that to the 3-digit one. So you can see it is plus and minus 5. Now a lot of time it might not be a good dimension style. It is okay if this is a general one, but there are some very specific application. For example, let's say this hole cannot be more than 2 inches. Then you have to apply dimension slightly different. So let's say in this case, I modify this dimension style for this one. Change it. Instead of symmetrical, I want to use deviation. Again, I don't want to make this holes anything larger than 2 inches. It got to be 2 inch or less. So I can have an upper value of this and a lower value of 5,000. So if I do that, you can see this will be no more than 2 inches, but it can be less than 2 inches. So this is how you assign different style and then change the style accordingly.